What's going on, film fans? Welcome back to the Voice of Film channel. In today's video, we're going to be talking about day 2 of CinemaCon. Sony left off with a great introduction, kicking off CinemaCon. They did a great job. Let's not waste any more time and let's talk about it. So this comes to us from the Hollywood Reporter. I love this title here. We're going to go through this together, guys. So bear with me here. Dwayne Johnson electrifies CinemaCon as Warner Brothers debuts Black Adam, Wonka, The Flash, and Elvis footage, which we're going to talk about Elvis here in a bit. One thing I want to talk about first is before they even started, Warner Brothers announced, even before the trailer dropped, Warner's dropped big news Tuesday from the CinemaCon stage inside the Coliseum at Caesar's Palace. Finally, we knew it was coming. We knew it was on its way, but they announced it officially. First announcing that Matt Reeves, Robert Pattinson, and the creative team will be back for the sequel to The Batman. Now, I have to tell you, The Batman is so far my favorite movie of the year. I think that movie is amazing. I think it has some serious potential to be end up being my favorite movie of the year. Now, we still have a long way to go. May's just around the corner. There's a lot of movies still to come out that I'm looking forward to. It sets such a high bar that I don't know how other films are going to hold up. I really don't. Not just because it's a comic book movie, but you can literally take the name The Batman out and exchange Robert Pattinson's costume for a detective outfit, and it just becomes a crime thriller at that point. It becomes Seven, essentially, but that movie is fantastic. I love the Batman. I loved Robert Pattinson, and I knew he was going to kill it from the start. I knew Matt Reeves was going to deliver from the start, and I can't believe how great it was. But it feels so good to see that we are, in fact, getting a sequel. So that is official and in the can. It's tangible. It's on its way. It goes on here to pretty much detail of what the rest of the presentation included. That was followed by exclusive looks at Black Adam, Elvis, Wonka, The Flash, Shazam, Fury of the Gods, Aquaman, The Lost Kingdom, Salem's Lot, which I'm kind of interested in as well. And Don't Worry, Darling. That is by the way, one of my most anticipated films of the year. We'll talk about that here in a second. Warner's devoted a big part of the early program to Elvis, which I think Elvis is going to be a very good Oscar contention. I really do. They're really putting the guns behind this movie. I think this movie's gonna be great. Listen, at first when they first announced it, I wasn't a big fan. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not familiar with was it Austin Butler. I'm not a huge Elvis fan to begin with, so this really kind of caught me by surprise. So we'll have to see how it goes. But with Austin Butler, if you've known me, I say in least every video that I do, you cannot go wrong with casting talent. Casting talent is one of the first things that you have to do to ensure that they do the impossible task of taking that script and bringing it to life. Now, I feel like, paired up with Tom Hanks here, it looks like playing Tom Parker. And I don't know much about Elvis, by the way, so I don't know how much of this movie is going to be, real or a creative decision, or they're going to take the creative liberty to kind of expound on the Elvis, kind of story, whatever story they're wanting to tell. But I just want a good story. So they go on. Timothée Chalamet debuted warbling a few tunes in the exclusive footage for Wonka. The first from the film revealed publicly, Wonka, hitting theaters on December 15th, 2023. Stars Chalamet as the character created by Arthur, I'm going to butcher this, Roald Dahl, and played by Gene Wilder, obviously, in the classic Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory back in 1971. Paddington filmmaker Paul King, which one of the main reasons I'm excited for this, by the way, with Rowan Atkinson, Sally Hawkins, Keegan-Michael Key, and Olivia Colman also starring. Now, I'm going to stop here for a second because Wonka is another one of those things that kind of has been in the back of everybody's mind. Like, we know it's coming. No one's really been talking about it. He had a few images come out recently. I mean, I didn't know Timothée Chalamet could sing. I know he can sure as hell act. I know this boy can act his ass off. They go on to say here, wild crashes, a bending universe, young Superman, and a throwback Batman, Michael Keaton, drew cheers as a brief trailer for The Flash. The biggest reaction came toward the end of the clip where Ezra Miller's Flash asks the question, "Are you in?" Then we see Keaton sans mask, but in his Batman suit with grayish hair, who retorts in his deadpan style, "You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts." No, I'm not sure how he said it. That was my worst Michael Keaton impression yet, but dude, just reading that, it just gets me so excited. Again, I don't think it's going to release in theaters. and that's fine. But I still can't wait to see the movie because I love Ben Affleck. He's coming back, making a small appearance as Batman. Michael Keaton's coming back as Batman. We're going to see what happens with the Flash character and these actors. I think it's going to be something to see, but we'll see how it goes. Holding still to that release date. The Flash, due out in June 2023, is one of the longest gestating DC projects. That is an understatement. This movie has been in development since Jesus walked the earth, for sure. It has literally been that long. It is no hyperbole there. All right, and they also go on to say here that they also shared a very brief look at the Aquaman sequel, which is facing a little bit of controversy for obvious reasons, which featured a buff as ever Jason Momoa as a watery superhero and a menacing Black Manta, who I thought was one of the best parts of Aquaman. I really did. I thought Black Manta, played by, oh God, Yahya Abdul Mateen II. I thought he did great as Black Manta. I thought Black Manta was one of the strengths. Now, there was some things that was kind of questionable about his character, but overall, I thought his character was great, and I can't wait to see him back. Momoa couldn't attend CinemaCon, but said hello, obviously shirtless, with a video from London. Director James Wan, who was on hand, said advanced special effects allowed him to advance as a filmmaker, spare the actors from being hanging from painful wires by using dozens of cameras to create 3D characters. Aquaman, released in 2018, became the first DC film outside Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy to cross $1 billion at the box office. And I remember that when everybody was saying Aquaman is going to fail, it's not going to work. Crossed $1 billion. The first DCEU film was Aquaman. It was Aquaman. If you would have asked me 5 years ago, would Aquaman make $1 billion? I'm like, no. With Jason Momoa, and I love Jason Momoa, but ain't no way a James Wan directed Aquaman movie is going to make $1 billion. Ain't no way. But it did, when money talks, and obviously they're doing a sequel. I'm excited, more Hot Toys. Looks like they go on here to say Wan also stayed on stage for Salem's Lot, a Stephen King adaptation. My favorite Stephen King adaptation, I have to say, is It Chapter 1. It Chapter 1 delivers on every level of the creepiness, the horror, the suspense, the dramatic tension. You bought into Pennywise. You kind of felt like there was a sense of realism to it, if that makes sense, even though it was a supernatural character. Now, I'm not a big horror guy. That movie done so well for me. I was so excited for It Chapter 2, and oh my God, did that suck so bad. Oh God, It Chapter 2. Very few films have I wanted to walk out of. That was one of them. The only reason is I spent a lot of money for the tickets, for the food, for the snacks, and it was an hour home and I did not want to leave. But I drove all the way there just to watch it, and I was like, ugh. But here it looks like Salem's Lot, Stephen King adaptation, is hitting the big screen in September. Wan, producer of the movie, introduced the film's director, Gary Doberman. Probably pronouncing that name wrong, and I apologize. So if you're a horror fan out there, Stephen King adaptation coming. The film is based on King's 1975 horror novel about a writer who returns to the main town where he lived in his youth, only to discover its residents are becoming vampires. Lewis Pullman stars as the lead character, Ben Mears, with Spencer Treat Clark, William Sadler, Palau Aspect from Game of Thrones, Alfred Woodard, and Bill Camp rounding out the cast. Now that sounds kind of interesting. Let's go on here to Shazam, Fury of the Gods. Zachary Levi and other cast members from the film introduced new footage from the anticipated film. Now, I have a few friends that are there, some work acquaintances, and oh my God, they know how much I like Shazam, and they had a blast with it, and I cannot wait to see Shazam. I've been looking for the sequel. That film, it did not do as well as I thought it would. Well, after watching that movie on opening night, and it was a packed theater where I was in, after watching that movie, I was like, this was great. It put a smile on my face. It's not the best comic book movie. It's so fun. Shazam is such a fun time. You want to throw it on at home, you just want to put a smile on your face, throw on Shazam, dude. You're going to have a great time. I cannot wait for the sequel. We didn't want to veer from the magic of the first, said Levi, balancing comedy, drama, and heart. Angel and Grazer, along with the new cast member, Helen Mirren, which so excited to see. Oh my God. Who plays a gold costume Hespera, daughter of Atlantis, joined Levi on stage. They go on to talk about more about the film, and Black Adam, I'm so excited to see. Dwayne Johnson has had this film in production probably just as long as Ezra Miller's The Flash. It's been about 87,000 years. What they talked about, the footage that was shown, the trailer that was shown, I cannot wait to see what happens. So we're going to steer off the comic books for a little bit. Following her 2019 directorial debut, Booksmart, Olivia Wilde returned to CinemaCon as a helmer of Don't Worry, Darling, a psychological thriller starring herself, Florence Pugh, Harry Styles, Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, Kiki Lane, and Nick Kroll. What would it take for you to give up your life to do what is right? That is the question of Don't Worry, Darling, Wilde said, introducing an exclusive look at the film's first trailer as she saluted the exhibitors who fought so hard to keep the movie business alive. This movie is certainly one of my most anticipated this year. I loved Booksmart. Olivia Wilde, her first film. What is this with these directorial debuts that are fantastic? Bradley Cooper's Star is Born, John Krasinski's A Quiet Place, which were both fantastic. 2018 Star is Born, by the way, is my favorite movie of that year. Olivia Wilde, she has done amazing work, and not only is she a great actress, she did such a great that movie Booksmart. That is, even though the script was just awesome, that movie's a lot of directing. You really have to have some serious directing chops for that movie. Booksmart was great. And for her to follow up with a kind of a thriller coming off of Booksmart that was kind of like a coming of age, high school drama slash comedy. This is something I love when creatives kind of step out of their comfort zone. I feel like that's important as a creator, just as an individual. Life lesson and practice to get out of your comfort zone sometimes. Get out of, I mean, do what you can do what you do best. Absolutely. But there are times when you need to step out of that comfort zone. And with Olivia Wilde doing a psychological thriller, number one, you got Harry Styles, Chris Pine, Gemma Chan, the great Gemma Chan, Florence Pugh. With Olivia Wilde, as great as she is, not only she's going to star in it, but she's going to direct it. Dude, I'm very excited for this movie. This is one of those movies that if I see and it disappoints, I'm gonna be very sad. Very sad. So not only Dwayne Johnson was promoting Black Adam, he was also promoting not one but two DC films in Black Adam and DC League of Super Pets from Warner Animation Group. He presented a new Super Pets trailer, which introduces inseparable best friends, Crypto the Super Dog and Superman. But when Superman is kidnapped from the Metropolis apartment, Crypto teams up with canine companion Ace and their other furried friends in a rescue mission hit in theaters July 29th. This trailer was so fun. At first, before we seen anything for the movie other than maybe the logo and a couple of images from the film, I had crapped on it so bad. When I first seen that trailer, that theater was laughing. There was a bunch of kids cracking up. I was cracking. I have a pretty weird sense of humor, but that movie, that trailer done a great job. I think we're in for a great time, and I can't wait to see it. I wanted to talk about a few things on how COVID-19 kind of affected the box office for obvious reasons, and Warner Brothers made the stupid decision to do, day and date release for HBO Max, which just aggravates me so much that happened. Warner Brothers is now owned by Discovery, so I'm going to just let them take the reins and trust them with everything we've got because we need to. We need to trust that Warner Brothers can take this in a new direction. This is a fresh starting point, and there is a way for them to turn back, really do what's right for the company. I can't wait to see what the future of Warner Brothers holds. This panel was great tonight. They had a lot of great stuff come out. I can't wait to see all these projects. Everything that they announced here, I'm at least interested in. Maybe not go see all of it weekend it opens, but I don't know. What do you guys think? Did you guys like everything that Warner Brothers announced at CinemaCon? What was your favorite piece of news? Drop it in the comments below, and we'll see y'all next time.